Where are you from?
I'm from East Point, Georgia.
Okay.
Atlanta.
What was it like growing up in East Point?
It was cool. It was pretty mild. You know, I grew up with my older brother. He showed me around the way. But it was actually boring as hell. Like, East Point is really, really fucking boring. I had to go to the city a lot to find some fun or just tap in with other people. But I just felt like I was living around a lot of old people in East Point.
Were you making music in East Point?
I was always writing raps, like always writing as a kid. But, you know, I was in East Point in my childhood, so I wasn't really recording anything or making music necessarily. You know, I started making music a little later in life. But I was writing raps since like middle school, like full songs and everything with the intention to record them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you in band or?
Yeah, anything I was doing in school was because I had to. Like,
okay.
I was in band and orchestra, but it's just because I had to fill out some type of requirement. I wasn't gifted with the instruments necessarily or anything like that, you know.
What instrument did you play?
In band?
Both, band and orchestra.
I don't even remember.
You don't remember?
I do not fucking remember. But I did play the guitar. I played the guitar in middle school and a little bit in high school, and then I just fell off with it.
Okay. So you wrote all these raps in middle school, and then at what point did you start to record music?
So I started to record officially in high school. I went to boarding school actually in Delaware. Yeah, and they had a studio in there. We could use it for free. And this is around 2016, like, you know, I'm in Delaware and back home, the music scene is taking off. And it's people like my age, you know what I'm saying? Or from as young as 16 up to 21. So I was like, I could really do this shit, you know? So I started recording.
Why did you go to boarding school?
I just wanted something different. Like, I always just wanted something different. It wasn't because I was like bad or anything or got kicked out of the house. I just, you know, I grew up reading Harry Potter, that shit. So the idea of a boarding school was just attractive to me at the time.
You read all of the Harry Potter books?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
My favorite is Goblet of Fire.
No, for real?
That book. Heck yeah.
Damn, I thought that one was weak as hell.
Which one you like?
I like Prisoner Azkaban.
The third one?
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was straight.
Yeah.
So you started making music in boarding school. When did you put your first song out?
My first song that I put out, it was actually like an album. Cause I started rapping with this white dude in high school. That's when I made Backseat for real. And we had like a little joint album, and there's like no chance of ever hearing it or finding it. Like, it's not in none of the emails or nothing. But a couple songs on there was sliding, and that was like the first shit I released. But the first shit I recorded was a song called Whip, back in like junior year, and niggas was fucking with that shit. Like, I was in school with a bunch of like white kids too, and they really wasn't feeling what I was doing too much, but I did Whip. It was like the whole school was fucking with that shit. I was like, okay, this smooth.
And so, how did your peers receive it? Like, did your social life change because of it?
When I started making music?
Yeah.
I guess, you know, like going to boarding school and again being around a bunch of different classes and races. Like, when I made music, obviously there was like a little prejudice with it because like I'm one of the few black kids there. But so it just seemed a little like off-putting to people, you know what I'm saying? Because like, I'm in boarding school, like we supposed to be up there preparing to be doctors and shit. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing up there. I was trying to find some purpose because I knew I wasn't going on to do nothing major in like no career field. Like, I always wanted to do music. So I didn't really care too much how my peers received it, but it was just maybe a culture shock for them, or maybe just, I don't know.
And so how did you decide to settle in Atlanta and do music?
Well, you know, I'm from here, so I had to come back home.
So you had to come back?
Yeah, I had to come back home.
You know how some people go to like LA or New York, you know?
Oh, to settle down and do music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What made you pick Atlanta?
Like, well, I had to come home. I didn't have no money to go to LA or New York, and Atlanta is really what people expect LA and New York to be, like, especially coming up in the music industry. From what I understand, it seems like everybody comes here to blow up. I just happen to be from here. But I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking, like, where the fuck do I even start? Like, I need to find a studio, like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even know where to start to eventually do something in music. So I feel like it didn't really matter where I was at that time.
Have you faced any challenges in your music career so far?
Shit, hell yeah. Just, you gotta make your own money, obviously. So that's just a challenge within itself. Like, everybody my age in this city, this state, and this country, like, know what that shit like. So, but other than that, this shit really been smooth. Like, it's been fun. Like, I don't got too many complaints.
Are you independent or are you signed to a label?
Yeah, definitely independent.
Okay. Is there a reason why?
Shit, I would say because no label has hit me up, but even if they did, I wouldn't necessarily want to sign. I kind of want to get my own leverage, and then do something with that. That's the goal. But no, there's no specific reason other than I haven't been approached about it yet.
Would you prefer leverage in terms of like a large catalog or like a large amount of money that you've made from your music?
Both, really influence, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, having a type of leverage where it's like, I don't need a label to come to me and tell me what they can do for me. Like, I'm kind of coming to them and I'm really doing something for them. You know what I'm saying? We're doing something for each other in a sense.
Do you have any labels in mind that you like to sign with?
Nah.
None?
Nah. I'm ignorant when it comes to all that shit, like the music business and labels. But I guess that's why I wouldn't really want to get approached by a label, because I don't want to get, like, you know what I'm saying, pimped out. Because I know what this fucking music business can be like. I want to do my own research and get to a point where it's like, I have a good understanding of what I'm getting into.
Can you talk a little bit about Backseat Collective?
Yeah. Backseat Collective, mainly based out of Atlanta. Got people from all over the South in Backseat. That's why I think it's cool. It's really representative of the South. Started in high school, but it really morphed into something else. Like, everybody that's on the roster now is not who I initially started with. Like, it kind of got reborn when I came back home. And we've been making music out the backseat of cars and fucking home studios for about like 4 years now. Really just honing in the craft. And really just having fun with this shit.
How'd you come up with the name Backseat?
I came up with the name, I was inspired by Dash. He has a song called 7 Day Theory with Maxo Cream. He had this line in there talking about backseat boys rolling 2 ace. And at that time, this is when I was rapping with a friend. We're trying to come up with a name for a crew, and that shit really just stuck. And now it's just become more like a vibe. Like, now I barely, until somebody asks, remember how I started the name. Like, now it's just representative of so much more, it feels like,
Yeah. How did you meet the first member of your group after the white guy you mentioned?
Yeah, so when I came home, through some mutual friends, I met Low Key, Marcus, who y'all come to find more about soon. But yeah, like, I just got his Instagram just on some regular shit, and then he posted a snippet that night or something crazy, and I was like, it felt like a kindred spirit, just like somebody my age making music. And it's just like the energy that it had with it. I remember the song, it might still be on his SoundCloud. It's called, what the fuck is that song called? I don't know. It's an early song on his SoundCloud with me and him, and that really started everything. Because when I heard that, I was like, bro, we got to tap in. Like, we got to smoke, record, link up. And we linked up, and everything really happened organically. Like, he was like, I'm really trying to be a part of some type of rap collective. Like, I've always wanted to do that. And I was like, I got Backseat, bro. Like, we got to see if we can take this shit to the next level. And shit really snowballed like that. Like, he had already known Smo, or Elon. And then I met Marco, and I met Silk. But Silk already knew Rock. Like, it's just like a bunch of interconnectedness that eventually came together to, what it is today.
Do you think it's more beneficial to be a solo artist or in a group? Now?
I think both of them have their own benefits, you know what I'm saying? Because we still solo artists. Like, we're not necessarily like a rap group. The rap group itself is something separate, you know what I'm saying? Like, when we come together, we Backseat, but we still solo artists. So we get to have the best of both worlds. And I can't have one without the other. Like, I wouldn't have Demo and Bad Luck 2 if I didn't know Marco and low key. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of helped form my solo career, and then doing shit solo gave me ideas to bring back to the collective. You know, so they work in harmony.
Have you all had any like internal phrase, sort of like Destiny's Child?
No, not for real. Like not more than any other group of 20 to 25-year-old friends would have. Like riffs here and there, but you know, we brothers, so it just, you know what I'm saying? Like nothing serious. Never nothing serious.
Who are some of your biggest musical inspirations?
I fuck with like rappers with style. Like when it comes to rap, like more so. I do fuck with lyricism, but like my favorite rappers are like Sauce Walker and Project Pat. That's really who's been inspiring me right now. You know what I'm saying? Like especially when it comes to the production, it's Project Pat. But I kind of like the raw stream of consciousness and creativeness and style of Sauce Walker, but I also come from like the school of lyricism and really rhythmic flows like Earl and Kendrick. So in terms of rap, those are my big inspirations, everybody I just named. But outside of that, like I like a lot of Stevie and like a lot of bands. Like I like a lot of indie shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll be incorporating that into my melodies. So it's really just a plethora of shit. But you know, like I sample too. So everything I sample is a big influence to what I do. Like I don't know all the artists that I sample, but I sample a lot of shit, so.
Dope.
Yeah.
So earlier you mentioned that you were a Harry Potter fan. Are you an avid reader?
No, not no more, bro. Not no more. As a kid, I feel like I was just so bright and just had like a thirst for knowledge in life that, you know, when I just sort of hit this age, I feel like I've gotten a little lazy in some aspects, but, you know, it's something I can return to.
Do you feel like reading those fantasy books helped develop your imagination?
Yeah, hell yeah. Everything I opened my mind to when I was young definitely helped me to be where I am today, I think, naturally.
What's the craziest experience that you've had so far in the music industry?
In the music industry, I'm not even in the industry. So, but everything I've experienced so far in life that's been crazy has made the person that's going to be stepping into the industry. So if I think about my just crazy experience so far, I don't even know. When you said that, the first thing that came to mind was me getting hit by a fucking stray bullet walking home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just walking home, I got hit by a stray bullet in the leg. Like, that was just pretty fucking crazy because it was just random. Like, I didn't see anybody. It was pretty dark out, but there was nobody around me. It sounded like the shot came from like right here. I feel like that was a pretty life-changing experience. You know what I'm saying? Like I was definitely happy to be alive after that shit. And you know,
where did you get hit? Like where did you get hit in your leg?
Like right above the ankle, like bottom left shin. It just hit meat. I ain't hit no bone or nothing.
What did it feel like?
I didn't even feel it. I was walking, when I took a step, it just felt like my leg went numb, and I heard a loud pop. I thought I stepped on like a live wire or some shit. I started running. I was on the phone with somebody. They're like, "Did you get shot?" And I was like, "No." And like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I looked down and blood was squirting on my shoe. I was like, "Oh, maybe I did get shot."
And you don't have any ops? It was just like...
Nah.
Yo, that's crazy.
Not that I know of.
You're the first person that I've met who's been randomly shot. Like,
really?
Wow.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad you made it through that. Like, what? Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, so did you go to the hospital?
Yeah, I went to the hospital and I was in the triage, and they were just asking me all these questions about my information, like wanting to see my ID, and I'm just bleeding out. I'm fucking like getting dizzy, but it's not nothing serious because it's the leg or whatever. But
Wow,
that shit was ridiculous. I don't understand the hospital process, you know, because I feel like if I got hit in my chest or some shit, it would have been the same thing.
Yeah, you're super blessed though.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you do anything outside of music? Are there any other art forms that you're interested in?
I was gonna say, you know, I produce, but that's inside of music. I've shot videos, a lot of videos in the back seat.
We talked about that.
Yeah, a lot of videos in the backseat page. I've shot my own videos. I creative direct and wrote the treatments for, or my version of whatever the fucking treatment is. A lot of stuff, just anything that's gonna benefit my team, I'm gonna do it. Or like learn how to fucking do it, whether it's work a camera or manage or set shit up, like orchestrate. Like it doesn't really matter. That's what like all feel like I'm geared towards right now, you know.
What's your like greatest creative aspiration for everything that you're doing?
What do you mean? Like what do I want to do the most?
Yeah, so what I'm getting from you is like you're like a multidisciplinary artist because you can direct videos, you can shoot videos, you can produce music, you can rap. So like where you want to take that?
Shit, man. I'm really just trying to be Ye in this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's really my biggest inspiration. It was really fucked me up a couple years ago when I found out he didn't write his raps. So I kind of like fell out of love with his whole process. But that's really my biggest inspiration. Like I just want to be able to express myself through what I'm creating and not be limited to one thing. Like I don't know what it could be in a few years. I'm always gonna be making music. I'm always gonna be producing music, but I don't know.
So you're like a rap peer. So you're saying that when you become a billionaire, you still gonna be writing raps, or are you gonna hire people to write your raps?
Oh hell no, I'm gonna still write my raps.
For real?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be what I thought. Well, no, I can't even say that. In terms of rap, I'm gonna be what I thought Ye was. But at the same time, it's like I heard in another interview, Side the Prince was saying it's not that he can't write his own raps. He does. He just doesn't have time to. So I feel like that would be a good problem to have. Like if I'm not writing my raps because I don't have the fucking time to.
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna be like hella busy.
Yeah.
Maybe people in the collective, y'all could like collab and like get your raps out, but
Yeah, I'll be writing these niggas raps now, to be honest with you. Like, so we can just keep that going.
All right. So for someone who is watching this and they haven't made a video, they haven't made a song, they're really kind of clueless about getting to where you are now, what advice would you have for them?
I think the fact that this hypothetical person even has that desire or that question is going to spark something out there and lead them to the right people. But another step that you could take in that direction is just creating, like recording on GarageBand, anything. Like it doesn't have to be quality, just make, you know what I'm saying? Like bump your head a few times because it might suck and people might hate it, but that could be a part of your story and who you eventually become, you know? So yeah, just do that shit. Like really just do that shit. Like put yourself in the situation, whether you're afraid of judgment from others or, you know, like accept that that will come and find peace with that and then just do it.
Do you have any projects out right now that you want to talk about?
I got 4 projects. I got the Bad Luck EP, Bad Luck 2, Po' Boys with Silk, fucking Demo, DEMMO. If you want to start down the rabbit hole, just type in Plus Flow on YouTube. I'm the first video. I think in that bio, I got my Apple Music and SoundCloud. You can really find everything through there. But if you're just on SoundCloud, type in, I think it's Backseat Smiles. I've been told I'm very hard to find on the internet, but I think it's Backseat Smiles. Yeah.